Okay, let's see what we can do with this one. Okay. Wondering, we're going at 200 for this. Add a little bit of contrast. Okay, it's an interesting one. Let's see what it is. It is MJ Bale Manual. So basically this is men's clothes. Oh, that's what, again, we don't want to be sexist. I wear men's clothes, so there you go. We got this picture made in Japan. I'm thinking maybe this part will be where we concentrate on. But yeah, everything just seems to be a little bit sexually stereotyped in this world. It does simplify things, I must admit, but some people don't like to just be male or female in the normal sense, in the conventional conservative sense. Yeah, let's see how we go with this. Alright, let's see how that comes out. MJ Bale. Anyway, that looks interesting. It's not quite what I want. I'm going to make a better movement than that. Just going to put it back. But yeah, things are still pretty sexist in this world. It's just the way it's become. Has it become that way, or has it always been that way? But yeah. MJ Bale. Of course, they use the word manual because it's a masculine term. It's like a toolbox, a manual, a technical manual. It's typically men's kind of stuff. Typically, as it's considered. We're going to do something different. I don't think this is going to work. I can't physically turn the original around that well, so I'm going to do something a little bit different, as I've done a lot lately. But yeah, it's really like everything's just become really sexist. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks interesting. Again, it's not quite what I am after. It's not an easy one to work with, this one. Gonna try again. Trying to make this into something really nice, really like interesting. Gonna turn it this way. Nuisance. This one's a nuisance. Fucking difficult because of the way it's made. But yeah, it's a real male-dominated kind of a. It's not working. I'm not getting this what I'm wanting. So wondering if we're going to stay on that, or maybe I'm looking at the back of this book, this booklet, wondering whether this is a tricky one, folks. I'm gonna maybe, yeah, it's on the lightest setting. Maybe the contrast. No, we're gonna leave it. Fuck it. This piece of shit. I'm gonna have to bend it back. I think we're gonna have to be a little bit rough with this original and just bend it right back. So I'm just bending it back so I can just get in where I'm supposed to want to get in. So I'm going to slide it around. So I'm being a little bit rough with this publication. I'm going to throw it in the recycle bin anyway. I don't have a use for it. So I'm just getting a little bit rough with it. MJ Bale. That's what it's called. Anyway, this looks better. I think the rough treatment seems to have paid off. Wondering if this piece is going to be any good. That's a good question. It looks good. So I'm wondering how big we're going to make it look really nice. MJ Bale. Gonna leave it like that. So we're now just gonna consign this to the recycle pile. Made in Japan, just like Shai Yamana, the man who runs Konica Minolta, the CEO, who's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking dumbass. So we're going to put that in the top, and we're going to enlarge out some of this stuff. So we're just going to put that in the top. Yeah, let's see how we go. Let's do that. Let's see how we go. See how this comes out. Okay, out it comes. Yeah, that looks interesting. Sort of don't know if it's going to look any good. So, I don't always make my demos looking as good as I'd like them to, because I tend to get into a bit of a hurry trying to complete the demo, which is really not the greatest thing. So, wondering what we're going to do. It's hard to tell how something anyway is going to turn out until you've actually arranged it. So sometimes you think something's going to look shit, and then you line it all up and it looks brilliant, or close to brilliant, and you just don't know until you've actually arranged it. Or sometimes you have to switch it round a different way. I call it doing a switcheroo, because you just don't know until you've arranged it if it's going to look any good, or if it's going to look like a piece of half-baked shit, rubbish, in other words. And I do make rubbish. I don't always make brilliant demos, folks. I'm only human, as you can see. Far from perfect, folks. The only time you're going to be perfect is when you're in utopia. Utopia is a different game altogether. So yeah, we can't go there yet. It's not time. For me, it's not time. I know that for sure. I don't... Yeah. So let's see how this Japanese made in Japan thing actually ends up looking like. Whoops, I just got it on the edge there. See the corner? Just digging into the bedding, which makes it really difficult. So we're just going to line it up. It's a bit crooked on the other side. Anyway, well, that looks interesting. It's not the greatest, but I wouldn't call it the worst either. I think now we can call it quits.